Good morning, everybody. It's Thursday, August 5th. Going to run through a bunch of charts here. We've got the Kitco Gold Overlay chart. You can see yesterday we drifted up into resistance and took a small short position here, and it started to sell down. Today it looks like we could be stuck in that range again. We'll see if it tests those highs. I'll show you on the intraday chart just what I'm looking at there. Here's the daily chart first, and you can see we've had a nice push up. There really has been below average volume. Average volume somewhere right around here, and it's been stuck under that with several days on fairly light volume. So we'll have to see what it's doing here. We're going to find out today, which I'll show you on the intraday charts, if we're actually getting a correction or if we're going to get shaken out here. But with any luck, we might see a mini reverse head and shoulders form, and we'll take some money off the table down here at 1180, 1185 type area. And then of course if we get a neckline break, we might actually look to go long down here and then play a reverse of this, which would bring us up to around the 1240 area. If you flip this head and shoulders pattern up, it would give us a measured move of around 1140. So that's what I'm looking there. On an intraday basis, pull up the 60-minute chart, and you can see this is yesterday morning when we initiated a short position, and it moved down, and it's gone sideways through the night, and now we're starting to get a little pop up this morning. So we're going to find out if this is if we're going to get around the 8:30 to 9:30 kind of selling pressure, and go from there. And of course, if we break this low, I think it'll trigger some pretty good stops, and it'll also get some people shorting gold, and then of course it could start to work its way down to the 1180 area. So that's what I'm seeing for gold right now. As for the SP 500, there's a few charts here. I'll show you the market internals. Actually, I'll show you the daily chart first. Here's the daily chart. You can see the market overall is slowly trying to round out, and we still could get some type of larger correction here. The market is stalling right here. It's having some problems at this resistance level here at 1130 area, which it hit 1129, 1128 this morning in pre-market trading. And so it's just having it's struggling to get past this resistance point. And let me just zoom in here, clear the slate. If I go to a 60-minute chart, you can see it's getting a little wedge. It's forming this somewhat bearish wedge, and this usually equals some type of breakdown. So we might actually be looking to take a short position. The market internals I'll show you in a second. They're overbought. This overall pattern, a multi-day pattern, is starting to get very wedged. We could get a small pop, and then we could see heavy selling kick in, and prices roll over, and we might see a fairly decent correction. This is the SPY ETF, and we could see a drop down to around the 108 area, which is a pretty good support level. If I pull up the SP futures, if we have a similar move like that, we'd be looking for a pullback down to the 1165 area. So that's kind of what I'm seeing there. 1165, that would be a pretty severe one, or down to more or less the 1100, 1195 area, and or 1095, sorry. So that's what I'm seeing there. So this is that wedge on the futures intraday chart, and it's just getting wedged up there. Volume's pretty light. It's overall it's not too bad, but we're definitely not seeing huge volume surges on the moves up. So that's somewhat of a warning sign. Now for the in market internals here, we've got the NYSE advanced decline line. You can see yesterday, I pointed out a couple days ago in a video, these overbought conditions and how it takes a couple days for the market to reverse directions. And I pointed out usually it takes 2 or 3 days. And anyways, pointed that out. We saw it happen here, and I mentioned it just happened on Monday. This is Monday's big rally. It held up here, and I mentioned it was going to take probably another 2 or 3 days for the market to top out. So here's Tuesday, here's Wednesday, and similar to previous price action where it was the following day and the next day, and now we're back up to this overbought area, and I think we're going to see some selling in the market today. So that's what I'm looking for. There is some weakness, and we might actually take a short position if the volume kind of confirms that, and we get a bounce up to test a breakdown level today. Now for the NYSE trend, which measures volume flow, you can see we have these island days, which I mentioned also in a morning report I think earlier this week. You have anything below 1 is buying. Anything above 1 means there's distribution. So you get these small island days down here, and they typically have a couple days of profit taking afterwards, and not always a couple, but usually have some type of profit taking afterwards. Anyways, we had one on Monday. We've had 2 days of profit taking so far. The market's just been holding and not moving any higher, and there's a good chance we're going to have another one today, just because the market's overbought. I think people are going to be pulling money off the table. So that's what I see for the NYSE today. The bias, I think, is more negative than anything, sideways to negative, and that's what I see for the overall equities today. Now this is the US dollar daily chart. You can see it's just been getting crushed, just continues to squeeze down in this wedge here. It is trading right into a pretty major support level. It's on the 200-day moving average. There's a good chance that it's going to try and find some footing here and it did have a small pop yesterday. I'm expecting to see a pop to the 82, which should put some downward pressure on gold. It'll put some downward pressure on the stock market, and all that seems to fall in sync with the right timing for what's going on. But this is the daily chart, so this could happen over the next a couple days or next week or so. If we take a look at the intraday chart of the US dollar, you can see yesterday we got the pop up. It pretty much went into first resistance level, and then it stalled. It tried to make a run up into later in the day, didn't make it, and this is pretty much the major resistance level on the daily chart is back here. But you can see there will be other intraday levels of resistance as it moves up. So we're just going to watch gold, see what the US dollar, and see how it progresses here. Anyways, that's it for this morning, and I'll talk to you guys in the chat room. Bye bye.